because this is literally the last time where we should have any belief in the presidential system whatsoever.
Right, for sure.
If you have not gotten it by now, you'll never get it when it comes to our belief in this system of things. It is over. It is a done deal.
Right.
Now, whether if you are for Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, that is up to you. The reality is no presidential candidate is our savior. None of them will save us. Donald Trump does not have an interest, I would say, overall in black people, and neither does Kamala Harris. She just blatantly said it. So again, if you decide to vote, that's up to you. Look at the policies, you know, look at their speeches. Whoever dances better, makes you feel good, wears Timberlands, eats fried chicken, comes out to 50 Cent Many Men song.
Can't make this stuff up. Huh?
Hey man, whatever makes you feel like that person is good for me.
Facts.
Great, do your thing. The reality is, I focus on building up the people because it doesn't matter who is in the office. Our condition will be the same.
Yes.
Our environment will be the same.
Yeah.
Our communities will be the same. As a matter of fact, they're going to get worse because we continue to try to cast a vote, which etymologically goes back to the word.
I don't know. I'd have to argue that point. I'd about to be like, I don't know, bro. Would you rather live under liberal or Republican policies? I'd have to hold Rizza to that one. I know you say you're not going to vote, but what policies do you mostly agree with? What side would you like honestly think you lean on? Because then I understand you not voting. You don't trust the system. You know, they got the hierarchy above the president. Oh, no, I get it. I get it. It's just like, you know, what policies would you vote in?
Word, which means to wish. So we're going to wish and pray and hope and continue to do that instead of focusing on building up our own communities. I am genuinely not interested in voting for another Pharaoh. I'm not interested in going into another system of Rome, another system of Babylon. That is what it is. It is over. So again, some of y'all are like, well, man, Brother Rizza, man, I don't think it's this. If you don't vote for this person, you're voting for Trump. No, if you don't get the hell up and start changing your own goddamn condition, it will continue to perpetuate in its negativity. Stop trying to scare people into voting for another damn slave master.
Ooh, hey, man, that's a good point. Now, I say it like this. Look, if you were going to fail under Trump, you're going to fail under Kamala. If you were going to fail under Kamala, you're going to fail under Trump. It don't matter what the president were, who the president is. If you're lazy and you don't have no ambition, you're going to be broke regardless. It's just, you may just be a little less broke under which president, depending. Like, hey, if that matters to you, you want to be just a little bit less broke, then, hey, you might want to vote for Trump.
Whatever that is. Again, I appreciate Trump sometimes because sometimes he just says what he feels. I'd rather you do that than try to hide a knife behind your back like Joe Biden and stab me later on. Tell me how you feel. Good, bad, or indifferent. Kamala Harris, I even appreciate her at times because
really think
she lies so stupidly. And it's embarrassing. And they both have that in common. So, and by the way, she doesn't identify as a black woman. And if she did, you know, I think that's only when she's talking about collard greens, dancing. When she talks about, I believe, putting that, again, that hot sauce on fried chicken, wearing Timberland boots. That's when she talks about being a black woman. Smoking weed, things like that. But in reality.
But unlocked hella people up for weed. That is a crazy statement to make.
These are not the people who we should focus on to save us. Again, if you decide to vote for them, that is up to you. But Brother Rizza, Islam's stance is we know where this system is going. We know where it is. That's what it is. Some people want me to choose a side. Well, that's not God's side. Now, again, you can say whatever you want because people are like, well, let's be practical. Well, practically, you haven't done nothing for your damn self.
Okay.
And if you don't do that, and if you continue to say, well, I'm just going to put it on this person, and maybe we just, we'll get it through them.
Right.
The next person will be the best person. Biden was the...
Bro, doesn't that sound like how, you know, the reparation movement is in a way? Like, okay, we can't get it through them. We'll get it through the next guy. We'll get it through the next guy. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, y'all got to ask this. It's not about what president or governor want to give y'all reparations. It's about if the corporations who run this country want to give y'all reparations. And let's be real. They're doing slave master work right now. You think they giving reparations? Like I said, and at the end of the day, the tax money comes from these big corporations. So at they kind of do get the ultimate say on where it goes.
The right person. Obama was the right person. No, they're not the right person because they're in the same seat. I said this before. Same seat as Nixon. Same seat as JFK. Same seat as Lyndon B. Johnson. Same seat. They're in the same satanic seat. And even if they have good intentions, if Trump has good intentions, if Kamala have good intentions, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's also on the ballot, if he has good intentions, that's wonderful. But they're in that house of Satan. You think you're going to change the system? I don't think Trump could change it if he wanted to. I don't think Biden could change it. I don't think Kamala could change it. Right. But again, they can make people hope and believe that something will come out of Satan's house. All right, boy.
And I ain't gonna lie, there's one thing I do mess with RFK about, bro. The fact that he'll keep it real with you. He says, bro, if you vote for me, you're voting for truth. And I low-key believe it. Because every time you ask him some real shit about his policies, he'll tell you if he can do it for you or not.
Go keep doing your thing. We'll be out here building with our people and creating more solutions. So again, I know that was kind of a long answer for me to basically say, I'm just not interested, brother. Like I'm more so disgusted because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I'm not interested in it anymore. It is embarrassing. It is irritating for me to hear the same thing every 4 years. The number 4 represents foundation. We don't focus on our 4, but we continue to focus on theirs. Build your own, because power only respects power. They don't respect a vote. They don't respect a cry. They don't respect us begging. They respect power.
Yeah, they don't respect beggars. They don't respect people sitting there asking for a debt that they feel that's owed to them. Or they know that's owed to them. But let's be real. If you're asking for it, if you're trying to say you're demanding a debt that's owed and they're not giving to you at a certain point, you are a beggar.
If you don't have no money behind an agenda, stop talking. If you don't have power to exercise and organize your own people, stop talking. If you only want to say vote, 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 you are an embarrassment. It doesn't matter how many PhDs, how many master's degrees you have, you are going to be laughed at by those who are in control. They laugh at every single person who just yells vote, vote, vote. And if you don't vote for this person, that's a vote for them. It's a game. You don't look at the electoral colleges. You don't look at the finishing schools where they groom presidential candidates. You don't look at who funds.
That's why I always say there's some talking points, some things that they just mesmerize black people with, like, you know, reparations. And then they think that, oh yeah, we're just going to get our vote. It's like a trick bag. It's like, oh yeah, if we just say that we can do this for them and give them a handout, they're going to automatically give us our vote and give it their vote and not, and we're not even going to do anything for them. Yeah, that's how they get us, low key. I'm gonna be real with you.
Them. That's right. You don't look at the fact that they're selected before they're elected. You don't know the process of this because you're still saying the word vote. People who have power don't say vote
at all. Hey, we have these conversations all the time.
Come on, man. People will get mad at it. I don't care, brother. At the end of the day, Minister Farrakhan has already given us the parameters of this whole situation. If we do not do something for ourselves, we will continue to be enslaved. That's right. That is it. Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Do for self or suffer the consequences." You will get mad at me. I seriously don't give a damn because once our people rise up and build our own everything and separate from the system, as many of us are already doing in different ways. We'll see our success grow. That's right. Asians don't beg, Jews don't beg, even LGBTQ got so much money and power. You see them with their flag in front of the White House. Wow.
Oh God, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, yeah, a lot of ethnicities don't beg. They ask. They say, look, I'm gonna ask you one time. If you don't give it to me, I'm gonna find a way to take it. So when you bring up these people who got reparations, it'd be like, well, Japan ain't really had to beg these niggas. They said, oh, well, we feel bad for bombing y'all. Here you go. Iran, we feel bad for bombing y'all. Here y'all go. Black people, we want reparations for slavery. Yeah, no race-based reparations. You see how they kind of play us?
The hell does that mean? The hell are you begging for? Stop yelling at me saying vote. Try to make me choose somebody. Walk up to me face to face and say, Rizza, who you gonna choose? I dare you, seriously. Wow. And you're gonna get everything I just told you. I'm not interested. But some people, I'll tell you this as well, brother. Some people want those of us who they say have influence or who the people listen to, they want us to pick one of those sides. Right. Like they really, I just need you to say this.
I'm weak.
But you never want me to tell you to take responsibility and build for yourself. This is why racist white people look right. Because they're like,
this is why I never bow to the FBA and the reparations argument. It's just because, bro, y'all want me to be kumbaya, bend the knee and be like, yeah, we gonna get reparations and all that good stuff. Y'all gonna get reparations, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, like, dog, I'm looking at it logically and it just doesn't seem plausible.
All y'all want is a handout. This is what they say. All you want is a handout. Now, those of us who have leadership qualities and follow guidance from leadership, etc., we say do for self. And we exercise that by doing it as best as we can. Right. But you have a system that genuinely does not care about us. We have to get this through our head. Well, Rizza, we get the popular vote. If we get this, Rizza, we go meet with them. Bro, it is hard.
Yeah.
For a lot of our people to realize this because we genuinely have that white Jesus complex.
We do.
Still.
Yeah, we do.
We really massa please.
Sky Daddy as well.
Brother, that Sky Daddy is real for a lot of people. Again, they're trying to rationalize insanity. Well, maybe this time, maybe that time, y'all gonna be saying vote for the next 20, 30 years until they take away your right to do it again.
Man, God, y'all be saying reparations and to the point where you can no longer ask from it because they took away all your assets and everything. They took away all your liberties and everything. When you too busy asking for reparations instead of building your own community.
Working on that.
It's like,
then they're going to say, well, hell, you need money to cast a vote. In a minute, you're going to have to pay to vote. I'm just telling you, man. It's just very insane. So again, pardon my long-winded answer on that.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
I'm genuinely tired of it. Seriously. And again, people will say what they want, but I genuinely am just tired of it.
I'm with you. I feel you, man. Something else that it bothered me deeply, right? Shout out to my man Derek, who was filming this with Zay as well. He said something of, bro, Caleb, isn't it so crazy how Kamala Harris, she was able to raise, we're talking about $80 million in 48 hours off of one Zoom call, which then further proves that we can mobilize, we can monetize, we can circulate our dollars overnight towards Black-owned businesses, towards our hospitals, infrastructure, military, our own police departments, all of these things. How frustrated do you get of hearing, man, this politician was able to raise $80 million off of one Zoom call. You got AKAs moving together, Divine Nine, mobilizing. But then we can't do this for everyday things.
It's because there's someone who's invested in her for a specific agenda. Kamala Harris is funded by Alphabet Inc. Kamala Harris is funded by AIPAC. See, okay, let's just pause for a second. Let's realize something. Let's get all the way down to this. Who is funding these people? When you start with AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Action Committee, okay, what do? They brag about the fact that they are the #1 donor to a large number of Democratic candidates in the United States. They brag about this. Why do they brag about this? Because they are a foreign entity who funds domestic politicians, people from outside of this country funding politicians in this country to do things that benefit them in their country. They have not registered as a foreign agent.
Yeah, which is illegal by... I'm just saying, it is kind of illegal. You got to register as a foreign agent so they can limit your contributions, or you get no contributions, I believe.
You have influence. How they say, well, Russia has influenced the election. No, Israel is.
Nope.
AIPAC. That's no secret. Kamala is not funded by interest groups that have the interests of the people here as much as other groups fund her. So the big checks are coming from somebody outside of the U.S. who do not have an interest in the U.S. They have an interest in the U.S. bowing down to them. So I want to make that very clear for y'all thinking, oh, it just came from a Zoom call. Did you see the account? Did you see where the money really came from?
Facts.
Now let's make this clear again. In research, until you get the actual facts, you shouldn't really speak. Because they say, oh man, she raised $100 million. No. She was invested in with $100 million. Switch the word. This ain't some damn, let's give her the money and we hope for the best. We believe in ourselves. No, you got some people who did do that. Sure, I'm sure the sororities, I'm sure some fraternities, I'm sure just random people donating had good intentions. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. But you have vested interest groups, banking organizations, pharmaceutical companies, oil and gas, AIPAC, the biggest one.
Yeah, and let's be real. Like I said, all those industries and AIPAC, all the interests become over yours, the people. Because at the end of the day, you, the people, aren't funding these people's bank accounts. Let's be real. If these politicians ran off their salaries, they'd be very humble people. But look at Nancy Pelosi and look how much money she's gained just through being in power. And it's through what? Her having corporate alliances and her being good with AIPAC. And like I said, they serve the interests of those who line their pockets. And apparently that ain't the people.
Who comes together and they say, we have an agenda. These are the things we want her to do. So we're going to pay for her to do it. That's why she spoke at AIPAC years ago, and she spoke again recently. Why? Because that's who paid my checks. Let me go get looking nice and go speak in front of them. She never does that for Black organizations. So again, look at who funds the person. That's who who they bow down to and who they will keep as a priority. It's not our people.
Something that you spoke on recently, and I was like, that's an excellent point. The Great Compromise of 1877.
Oh, yes.
And that shows that there is no difference between Democrat or Republican. If you can break that down for us, what exactly happened during that compromise of 1877?
Wormley Hotel, February 26, 1877. You had the Republicans, Democrats, they came together because they wanted to put black people back on the plantation.
Right.
What?
So you had the Reconstruction age, 1865 to 1877. Emancipation Proclamation, oh yes, Negroes are free. Not necessarily.
Nope.
Emancipation, as we were taught by Minister Farrakhan, it means I free you from my hand, but not from my control. So you let all of these black folks go free to go out, no food, no clothing, no shelter, no nothing, just, hey, get up out of here. Okay, so that's why some of them went back to the shackles willingly. And some of them had to go into the sharecropping stuff, or some of them had to find ways to get work here and there.
I said, when they said slavery was a choice, man, they was not lying.
But this government said, well, we got a lot of land and a lot of businesses and a lot of companies that need these hands to keep working. So let's find a way to put them back on the plantation. Well, Democrats and Republicans agreed at that time, like unanimously. Let's put them back on the plantation. It was called the Great Compromise, or also known as the Great
God damn. So the one time they never fight was to re-enslave black people. That's the one time they never fought, to re-enslave us. Ain't that funny?
Betrayal of 1877. And so they found a way to put us back on the plantation so that we can continue to work. Same way in a enslaved type of circumstance where we're not making anywhere near as much money as we should. We had all the skills, the tools, etc. And even at that time, for a white man to be seen with a hammer or types of major equipment, it looked a little weird because we were the main ones doing that. Right. The brick masonry, the electrical work, any type of physical labor that was normal for us. Matter of fact, they looked down on any of their white brethren who was, no, that's for the Negroes. Let them do that, right? So at that time, if they could compromise and come to an agreement, and by the way, it was introduced, the idea, by a Jewish man by the name of William Levy. And that man is who really pushed the idea, kind of introduced it, and they said, that's just a pretty good idea that we should do that because, well, hell, we'll make more money, we'll work less, and we know they will agree to do that. So let's go ahead and make that happen. So at that time, if they can agree in the 1800s, Democrats and Republicans, to put black people back on the plantation, I believe they will agree to do the same thing in present time. I don't see this Democrat, Republican, red.
And he's talking about like the Robin Baron days, like when it was a steel company, wood company. Like we're talking about the big companies that like America got so rich off of. And these companies with low-key employ. I ain't glad they was enslaving everybody. Black people got it worse, but everybody was getting enslaved at that point, white and black. But yeah, they would work under for these low wages and dangerous conditions while these people were earning billions off them. I mean, these robber barons earned so much they was able to put a president in office.
Blue, okay, if we in the hood and we know Bloods and Crips and y'all doing the same things in politics, we can't trust you. It's an immature, perpetual circumstance. So I went from the hood and put on a suit and we doing the same thing up here?
Wow.
It makes no damn sense to me. I don't understand this. How is it that I can pay you and you say, well, Republicans are bad, I don't like them, oh my God, bad, or Democrats, they just stupid, bad. Okay, both of you look stupid to this very day. All you're doing is arguing. The same situation is in our communities right now that has continued to be in the same situation for hundreds of years. Because y'all keep saying it's these people and they keep saying it's those people. It's both of y'all.
I'm weak.
And then right underneath these 535 members of Congress, Democrats, Republicans, Senate and House majority or House representatives, etc. Above that, that's where you have the real power. The bankers, pharmaceuticals, etc. Congress doesn't run much. They're supposed to be able to pass laws, etc., veto the president's decisions, etc. But they don't even have the control. The president doesn't even have the control. So the president now is the figurehead. He looks a certain way, makes you believe in the nation that we call the United States of America. But who's behind him and or her?
That's right.
Those are the people with the real power.
Yes.
So again, at this point, if you came to an agreement back then, Democrats and Republicans.
You know, it's funny. The president always had to look a certain way. It always had to be a tall, decent-looking white man with family and kids. Like, it always had to look good.
Republicans, like Brother Kendrick Lamar said. If that's what you came to an agreement on to put our people back on the plantation, then I understand that there is a situation of power above everything else.
For sure.
And if it benefits all of you to do something that destroys an entire group of people, I believe they'll do it.
Yes.
I believe there are Democrats and Republicans working behind the scenes together to keep our people down as long as it is mutually beneficial.
Yes.
I believe that there are Democrats and Republicans coming together right now to keep us in a perpetual type of enslavement, whether it's economic, educational, familial, etc. I believe that there are people working together. I know that there are. Just like there are white and black people at the top working together to keep us in the enslaved position that we're in. Very few of them at the top. It's not just white folks at the top doing this. It's not just Arabs. It's not